Aharen-san of what Aharen is a great anime in the season rest of life. Like, I like this anime more than sort of Biscuito Koisuru and Akibe in the last season. It's so random, it's so nonsense, but at the same time I feel the warmth that out of this anime. Like, I really love how this anime portray the relationship that happening, like, no need to introduce, no need much introduction. We see a little bits scenes of, you know, Aharen. We see a bit scene of Aharen sad up, Aharen, just, we see the note of, Aharen name and her name, and it's just that we see her, you know, in the corner of room, and starting she's, and we see her personality as a weird person, how our main protagonist Raido, who's just essentially goes on with talk to her, and she is just talking. She is just looking and not reply, but she actually has this little voices, and she has this weird sense of direction of how the length of. She has the problem to gauge the differences in the distance that, and so she is really weird person, perfect introduction to our main protagonist. Raito does go to Aharen for that. Raito is the person that has serious press, the same weird as the weird person, same as Aharen. So, like the first, and it is both are the weird person in kind of cliche tropes of survival anime. These people are the weird people seems to be good together in all of anime, but this anime does not really repeat on this same trope much. They just like go straight into the introductions of these two, and goes little bits and go straight into the story of how these two couldn't communicate, and like these two, and don't really shows how these two are highlight how these two are weird or different from each other, like show how these two just communicate to each other, and essentially shows how weird Aharen is with her ability to talk so talk not loud at all, and like Aharen, who is talking to, and these episodes is generally Aharen trying to talk to Raito, which is, and at the first scene we see, at the first episode we see that Raito is a person that is not serious, and Aharen, which is a person, Raito is the person that have a lot of passions and is understanding and is a caretaker person who take care of Aharen despite her illness. I will not say illness, despite her flaws. And as you say, it take more than that to make me bored, to make me annoyed, which is really show these two personality, that Raito is not that serious and bad person when this person is serious, and Aharen is a person that generally have the weird, what she is doing is really weird, and doesn't have the common senses but generally he just also care in the different way for Raido, which is a perfect wrapping for the relationship of Aharen and Raido, that watch each other comforting each other in a different way, and show how Raido is really trying hard to talk to Aharen despite her, even though he could, making other friends means that he doesn't think bad about it at all. He's just like, you know, whatever. He has these friends at first, at the first place, like he's not changing, which is probably the flaw of this anime. I don't know, but like it's like I don't really care about it much. Like as I say, I'm even the most stupid joke ever of the people who is not funny at all. I could laugh at everything. So, but Aaron, if you could say, like the joke is just so random all over the place, but I feel like you watch and it's really funny. Like if you know if you're like me, expecting to find a normal slice of life of a guy who is weird and a girl who is kind of weird, I expect something more like normal slice of life, that a weird protagonist found another heroine and essentially start rom-com life with them. But essentially this first place, I feel like there's so much plot in even in the first episode, so it's a really good slice of life anime that I would recommend. Like I like this anime mood, and Shikimori, who's in the first episode also having this gimmick of cute girls and kind of the philosophy, but it just two kind of cliche norms of normal rom-com doesn't have any more really serious conflict. So Aharen shows that people who is weird, people who like Aharen, could come like having people like Raido who fulfill each other role and supporting each other, and it's really show the roles of these two together and really solve the first conflict of communicating with each other in a weird way, that essentially Raido could essentially hear Aharen with his sharper ear, or this anime trying to say that even if it is on your tip of your nose, if you trying to listen to it, even the most weakest, even the most not loud at all, not even the most lightest voice, you could listen to it if you put your mind to it, if you really try to listen to it. Doesn't need any tools to do so. But like it's also another flaw in this anime. It's just suddenly like our main protagonist can hear the voice of Aharen, which like I'd say it is quite jump the plot. Like there could be more the solution to it. Like they both could learn hand gesture, or they both could communicating with each other and try to understand what each other say without these two jump to the plot, and trying to understand what each other trying to do without having the voice, or with hand gesture, with face, with the face, seeing the faces. And maybe in episode 2 there will be more of this solving this mode to this than in this episode. Okay, so I will now go to the recap sections, scoring sections, because if I miss anything, I could essentially know it. So, I will increase my speed up to 10, and let's watch it together. Okay, so this is a scene of the start. We see Aharen and essentially the main protagonist, right? So, like, so maybe this is another interpretation of mine, that Ryder having this single track mind of trying to talk to someone, and he can stop in the middle, maybe. So there's just mostly normal social type scene here, with weird and random stuff that Aharen did, which show this just development and try to show the character personality in just one episode. That is so impressive, with just Leon of Aharen backstory and her personality, and really showing how care Rido is. And essentially, it's a perfect first episode for me. We get a little of how Rido having this little sister, which probably having many of the roles that Aharen will be with him. That if Aharen will be his girlfriend, we need to see the reaction of his little sister, and also it shows that how he has this kind of trust and kind of normal, like, annoyance relationship between sister and little sister and him. So shows his family. We don't see his dad or mom yet. So it's just like these are just like Rido trying hard to understand Aharen, and essentially from and this scene shows how even if Aharen is a person that Rido is caring for Aharen, but he also but Aharen is also noticing that he is caring for her. So she essentially giving the dolls to him, I think. Like, she probably noticing, but her way of care is a really weird way. It shows how Rido is having no friends before and really treasure Aharen, that we see he treasure the dolls of his that get from Aharen. So this scene I really like because of the fact that Aharen is doing the essentially. So we see that probably that is no dad of Rido, probably mom that raise these two these two brothers, sister, and siblings only. So we see that probably have a difficult situation on the part of Raido, and we see Aharen is really caring for in different way with Raido, that she really did it for him. It is the counter. It is the like mutual relationship where he also Raido also need to understand, also understand, trying to understand Aharen, and Aharen is also supporting Raido when he has the troubles, which is a really good cheese. One episode one, and there's kind of more conflict there, but like to give the score. No, first I need something to say that this anime is real like Toradora in terms of mutual relationship. That Tiger, there is no fan service at all, and Tiger, like Tiger and Ryuji, where Ryuji has the scary face on it, and Tiger is is trying to support Ryuji in the way that is really impressionistic way to understand complex way. In by herself she support Ryuji by her in her own way, and Ryuji, who has this different way of treating it, who have a different way of thinking, has a serious face, like in this anime Aharen, treating Tiger or Aharen, these two treating them in a way that they could see, in a way that like giving the no like it's not that way to the whole, but like Ryuji treat Tiger in the way that he could say, in a way that support her in like giving her food and stuff, and fixing her breast in the swim pool scenes, and helping her in a way that he could say. But in our end, we see that Raido trying to. There's also the both trying to help. Raido trying to help Aharen in the way that he think in a really tangible way, reading lips, trying the different way, subtle details, but Aharen helping. It is really the birth way that they could see, but I would say Aharen method of helping Raido is more tangible, because of the fact that Raido is helping Aharen with Aharen helping Raido with her giving a doll to Aharen, to Raido, or helping him make food or something that she thinks it sparks her. That is probably a real weird mutual relationship, and I really like these kind of anime where could be more subtle changes, or really could go like to all the way, like in Toradora, and I really hope this anime could be great. This is probably my most anticipated anime in this season, other than AG and Pretty Hero, AG stuff, or Yusha Yumeshite, that anime. So to give the score of this anime, that is to, as I say in the episode, say it again, there's two way of me giving the score. First, based on my opinions from bad to good. This is just my opinion, and more tangible score, uh which is number score through 5, what 1 to 5, 4.5, 0 to 5 points is through. And like this anime, I really love everything about it. It's great. Even the first episode of introductions, it's great in terms of focusing on the character's growth, this conflict. But the flaw of this anime is that it's introducing the conflict, but the solution of it is just kind of weird. Like talk, like Ryo could suddenly listen to Aharen talk, which is kind of nonsense if you ask me. But other than that, everything random comedy. It's so random, and comedy is really good. I really, I'm so lonely when I watched this anime 3 hours ago, and I am so lonely. I don't have anyone at my side. I'm so stressed, and when I watch this anime, I could lift those stones out of my heart, and really, it's healed me. And like, I really love this anime, and essentially, everything about this anime reminded me of Toradora. This could be Toradora, but in softer tones, go out. And even first episode, there's a lot of plot point, but less than Spike's family. But essentially, there's enough plot point that made me kept staring at the screen. So like, there's conflict of he or either don't have Aharen communicating, this problem of Raido trips, mom's go to trip, and Aharen take out Raido, and there's different of others problems of next conflict in the next episode of this person that appear in the last scene. There's Aharen problems with her personality, and the family situation, the preference of Aharen, who like to have dolls, picking up the dolls, and the problem with Aharen with having gauge distance, the philosophy behind it, which I am not talking much because it's not the important things, and like generally last overview. And general last overview, it is almost a perfect first episode, but as I say, fall flat on one thing that is kind of nonsense. So the score, the score of my opinions, not the score, like my opinions and the score of this anime that I will give is 4.5 and outstanding. This anime, like, if it has no reasonable conclusion, and like it could be 2 to 5, and it would be really great. But other than that, this anime is perfect, too perfect, that why are they not having this kind of anime before?